That's Do I really want to see that?
They're heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually heavy, which is hilarious. The guy's a metalhead apparently, which is cool as shit.
I should have figured with the way he makes his character look.
Yeah, the concept art is a lot like the Gorillas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat.
That's kind of neat.
All right, so let's go ahead and start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of Tequila in the Jar. It's your host, Brick. Most of you know me as Taco. I'm pretty sure like 90% of you guys at this point know me as Taco. With me is my good buddy Chao. He is many things. He's a one guy who I met, and his introduction to me was like, "This is the best guitar player in Rio." And then I heard him play, and I was like, "That nah." And like maybe if I wanted like a second or third guitar player, that'd be.
I don't know about that, man. Hi.
So yeah, no, this is gonna be our first episode. So it's gonna be for the most part kind of like a small introduction, kind of get the feel to it, because I mean I'm new to this.
Yeah, I'm new to this.
Yeah. So we're gonna start, just a little bit about yourself, I guess, so people can get to know you.
Well, my name is Santiago, and the majority of the people call me Chago. It's only like my mom, when she's really angry, that she'll call me Santiago or whatever.
The fuck is Santiago?
Yeah, it's pretty much one of those things. But yeah, Chago. I don't know. I'm 34 years old. I like long walks on the beach and horror movies, that kind of thing.
It's like, what's like your perfect date? Oh, watch a slasher and then get some ice cream afterwards or something.
Play Friday the 13th with the boys and stuff like that.
Dude, that game's broken.
That game's pretty fun.
It is fun. Yeah. So I've known you for about half my life at this point, give or take. 'Cause I've known you for what, like 10 years, give or take.
A little bit, probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah, so about half my life is like 13 years.
Probably half of your life, dude.
Yeah, that is crazy. You're probably
that's kind of messed up. That's pretty.
Yeah, like I was thinking about it the other day, and I was saying,
I feel old.
Yeah, it's like holy damn, dude. Okay, that's cool.
I honestly don't remember what year we met. I do remember when we met, but I don't remember what year it was. I know I wasn't. I use this as a base for a lot of things. Like, did I know you before or after a certain event? Like, I think I met you before I became a firefighter, because I went to.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes. I met you before because that's when you went to the academy for a couple of months.
In 2010.
Yes. In 2010. So I've known you for a little bit over 10 years, because it was shortly after they left to the academy. I think it was maybe like that year or that following year you left to the academy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because... Yeah, that was in 2010. Yeah, dude, so it's been like 11, 12 years, maybe.
God, that's crazy how time flies. Yeah, and I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was like, it hasn't been that long. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, and it really has.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but yeah, man, holy crap. But it's really weird how my circle of friends has kind of changed and stuff like that. It's not a bad thing, right? It's just kind of like, wow, who are these new people, that just kind of like showed up and stuff. And
yeah, because we went through that, because when the way that our group used to be structured, it was just like 3 of us that would hang out of nowhere. And then it went from 3 to 4, and then from 4 to 5. Bang! Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor us for all 3 of our viewers, that would be awesome. Complete sellouts as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went from like Apple too. Yeah, definite Apple, especially if you want to send me some like AirPods or something. We'll review them for you and just give you the best review ever. But yeah, we went through that weird transition. We went from like people that we would really didn't normally talk to hanging out with them on a daily basis, pretty much. And then at this point, it's kind of like, when are you free? Thursday or 3 weeks from now?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I remember like a lot of our hangouts were like at like 1, 2 in the morning, and we'd be playing. Maybe I should we'd be playing Yu-Gi-Oh, for hours and hours and hours, and Magic the Gathering here and all that stuff, and playing Gears of War,
Yeah.
And all that,
We had the Halo phase, where we would make the custom maps and we would play against each other with the 2 different Xboxes.
Okay, so I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we played it a little bit.
The one time that I played Halo with you guys, it was a murder. I feel like I contributed more to the other team than I did.
And I wasn't there for that game.
Yes, it was here, man.
It was not. It was the time that you guys said
Ducks?
it was a Ducks. You guys said you guys were playing against some guys from Chile, and then it got to a point where they stationed some warhogs outside you guys' base, and they were just murdering you.
Yeah, they basically kind of like all of our spawn points.
You were just like boxed in.
Yeah, they were boxed in, and so they were just. Those guys were stupid, man.
Yeah, no, that was the one game that I didn't play with you guys, and it reminds me of the last game that we had in Friday the 13th. Where we were playing, and then you see like those 3 people, or like 3 or 4 dudes that had the custom skins, and you were Jason. You're like, they're gonna murder me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could kill Jason until they did it. They murdered my character.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, there goes this game.
Those are the guys that just kind of like took the game and they just made the game not fun anymore.
Yeah. One of the matches, there was this. Okay, with me, a lot of the people either sound like little kids, or sound like weird adults that shouldn't be playing games anymore. So the last game, I jumped through a window and I fall in the trap, and the little kid's like, it's so easy to troll people. And I was like, man, I hate you. Like, where's your mom?
Are you old enough to be playing this game right now?
He did not sound like he was old enough to play those kinds of
I used to work at GameStop a long time ago, and I used to get kids that would come in and they would buy like they would try to buy like M-rated games and stuff. And I mean, it would, you'd scan it and it would ask like, hey, is this person over the age of 18 or whatever? And hey man, how old are you? I'm like, oh, I'm 14 or 12. Like, hey, this is you can't be playing this game. This is Grand Theft Auto Part 4 or whatever it was,
Oh, yeah, I remember that was the big thing.
And like, hey, just do me a favor, call your parents, real quick, to come in here. And then the parents would come in, like, ¿qué pasó? And...
You did the responsible adult thing, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if I was you, I would have whatever, here, just...
Okay, well, there's...
Then that's why I don't work
not
retail.
With that game, man. I mean, there's with any game that's like that. But I mean, like, you'd come in, the parents would come in, like, what's up, and okay, ma'am, just to let you know, or sir,
there's
just
nudity, violence, a lot of violence.
There's a lot of violence. I'm not going to go into detail of what you can do with certain characters in this game. What you can do to them.
Let's just say if you honk long enough, things will happen.
Yeah, like, I mean, and they just kind of look at me, and then they look at, like, like, you didn't tell me that, you little... No, it's okay. We're fine. We'll... And then the kid would look up at me one last time, and like, like, I was about to get
it, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'd walk off and all that, and it's like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin that.
I had something kind of similar to that happened to me once. This is back when I still had dial-up internet, like when dial-up was still the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So this is maybe...
Oh, yeah, man, that was my time too.
I think it was...
AOL,
AIM. No, I wasn't that far back. With me, it was MySpace. MySpace was a thing, and I remember MySpace had built-in games to it that you could play, but they were all the same game. They were all reskins of... I don't want to call it like a Farmville, but it was like you had so much stamina or energy that you could use per turn, so then you had to wait to reload your energy to do more of the game, kind of thing. And I was playing this one game, and I think it was called like Mafia Wars or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
And my dad walks into me playing that game, right? And my computer used to be here back in the day, and my dad just goes up to me, he goes like, "Mijito, ¿por qué estás jugando juegos así?" And I was just like, "'Cause they're fun." And he just kind of looks at me disappointed and walks away, and I'm like, I shouldn't be playing this anymore.
I don't ever remember having my parents never gave me a hard time about the games that they, like, I remember, Mortal Kombat was like that game of my generation where it was like,
it was too violent. I mean,
Yeah,
it created the rating board, dude.
Yeah,
Like, that's
much.
the reason why we have that.
yeah, but or at least maybe it wasn't enforced where like the clerk or whatever
Cared.
or not so much cared, but like it was like, hey, by the way,
This
You
game
know,
is pretty bloody.
yeah, or really, hey, but yeah, they never had a problem with it, and I think the only one time that I had an issue with like mature content, I guess you can call it, was when I bought a comic book. It was called Grendel Warchild.
Dude, that was brutal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. But what caught my attention was the art, and look this up, was the artwork of it, and I still have it, and I remember looking at it, and my brother was like, "Hey,
Hey, I don't think you're supposed to be in those web pages."
shut up." The artwork was amazing, and as soon as this thing wants to connect, yeah. So,
I'm probably gonna make a big, huge false promise right now, but if I can figure it out, I'll try to put a picture of it somewhere in the video, or so you guys can look at it too.
so here it is.
Oh
And-
yeah, dude, definitely not gonna let my kid read that.
Oh man, it didn't enlarge it. Here, hold on. Come on, there it is.
It's just that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still have this comic book, and it's number 1.
It looks like Spider-Man.
Keep in mind, I was like 6
Oh yeah,
or 7.
I can see where that's an issue.
I bought this at the mall in Austin. I don't remember which one it was. I could probably say the Galleria, and he'd probably be like, "Which one out of all of them?"
I mean, I've been to Austin all one time, so even then, I didn't even know they had them all. I kind of figured.
Yeah, one of the malls, man. I went to one of them. I was a kid, and my brother was in there. I was in there, and I was like, "Hey, man, what is this?" And as soon as this thing wants to load,
I think you're pressing on.
am I on?
Because you're not.
Yeah, it's on image. Well, anyways,
I don't know. That's
so
why.
as soon as it pops up, I'll put it up or whatever.
No, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
That looks like
There's an eyeball, hanging
that's
off his
like
claw.
Spider-Man, or the Spider-Man in the Venom suit combined with like Spawn.
I don't know. Maybe if you can like zoom in on it later or something like that. But
I'm probably just gonna put like a downloaded image of it or something and show it.
So I remember, looking at it and just like, wow, and I ran and I told my mom, and my mom was just kind of like, she was more concerned that I was just buying something, like not what was on the cover.
Yeah.
And not to say anything, not that my mom didn't care. It was just like,
Yeah, no, she was cool about it.
Yeah. And it wasn't until the clerk that said, "Hey, this is a really, really mature
Content. You probably shouldn't be looking at this.
Probably shouldn't let him take it." And so what ended up happening is my brother ended up taking it.
Okay.
I still got it.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
My older brother bought it technically for me, I guess. And but it was for him, but it was
For you,
yeah,
kind
for
of
me.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I still have it, and it's a, I mean, it was at the time it was like what, $3 or something like that, maybe cheaper. I should have looked up the price on it, but whatever, I'll check it out later.
Yeah. Speaking of comics, the last time, 'cause I haven't bought like a physical comic in years, because I used to do it.
That's been a while for me too.
Yeah, I just do everything online. So if I'm gonna read anything, just look it up online. But I can't remember what comic book store was that I went to, and they had the sealed copy of the New 52 issue of the Joker, where they reveal his identity. No, not the one when they pull his face off. It's like the one that's supposed to actually, the one with the Morpheus chair.
Okay, yeah. Where
And
Batman's all
yeah,
White Lantern. And stuff.
No. He's it's the one where he's in the giant blue chair.
Yeah, he should be a White Lantern if I'm not mistaken.
I remember. I just remember he's
before the comic book people start attacking me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Not experts. I just know he's in the chair, and I'm probably pronouncing that thing wrong, and he has like all the knowledge, and it's supposed to be like the big reveal to show you how.
It's supposed to be like all knowing and everything like that.
Yeah, that was the last time I actually like saw.
And he's all like, oh, it can't be. But I don't think they say it right. It's just
No,
kinda leave it at a
yeah.
cliffhanger.
They leave it as a cliffhanger, and then they did that other thing where there's a bunch of Joker theories. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
I've heard of a few.
There's like there's the one where it's like they're all different Jokers and.
Yeah, because like one has a different hairstyle, one acts differently, one's
Yeah.
more psycho,
So
one's missing his face. You know,
quite literally.
yeah.
But I want to say that was the last thing that DC stuck with. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't murder me for it. I want to say that they went
butcher it.
Yeah, that they went with like a split Joker thing. Like that's the official canon thing now, that there's like multiple Jokers.
Well, I've heard that theory too. It's been a very long time for me to since I've read, a comic book, and the last ones that I did read were the New 52.
The Rebirth is pretty good. Well,
Yeah.
what I've read from it's pretty good.
I maybe read, excuse me, a couple issues of like Flash Rebirth and Superman.
Did you see what they did with the Watchmen?
Yeah, so that's where I didn't get to pick up on, because by that time I had already gotten hired with another job, and I just had to devote my time to that, so I couldn't pick up on it and read.
I tried to get into it, like to get like the actual comics, but they were just it did that thing that Crisis on Infinite Earths did, where it had a bunch of side stories to it that also connected.
Okay, yeah.
So there was just like way too much branching. So I did the regular normal person who doesn't have a lot of time does YouTube it, and there's one video that's like 6 hours long.
Everything's on YouTube.
Yeah,
man,
but it's cool though, because like they explain to you everything, and they go like issue by issue chronologically how it should be, so you don't feel left out of anything.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat.
Kind of breaks down what's happening in that particular universe.
Yeah, because
or in that timeline. I don't know if that's
yeah, because they pretty much Rebirth. The way that I took it, it was a convergence, and it combined everything again, because it just got out of control. Where it's like, yeah, there's like a gajillion universes, and they're all their own thing, but at the same time, some of them cross, but then some don't, and
some are aware of each other, and no, I mean, I really should take the time maybe to read this, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I don't have time, because I do, especially now with like all the quarantine stuff that's going on, all the coronavirus stuff. The Rona. But I mean, yeah, I've been kind of like devoting my whole quarantine time to just practicing music and guitar and stuff like that. Like, as much as I hate to say it, Corona's been kind of like good
to you,
to me, because I've been like stuck at home and just practicing.
I kind of have that too, because not to toot my own horn, right? Definitely gonna do it. I have like a pretty set schedule to how everything works. So I'm up 6 a.m. to about 11 with you guys.
I've noticed,
yeah. So I'm up pretty much the entire day, whenever I'm not doing work. But because of the whole Rona thing, I actually started running again, and I lost some weight, which is something that I was never gonna do with my regular job. I was doing other things instead of doing that. But at the same time, I feel like I have less time now than I did before, because of it.
Because of the running?
Yeah, well, because now I have like a whole bunch of other stuff that I have to do. So I have work, and then right after work I have school, and then if I have time I do the running, and then if I have time after that, then that's when I'll get on with you guys, and that's usually like around 10 at night or something.
Yeah, and you kind of just play for like an hour.
Yeah, an hour or two, and say, hey, you know what, I gotta go to bed because I gotta be up in the morning.
Yeah, that's the kind of lame part from growing up, like, because I mean, back when we first met, when I was talking about earlier about playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And, we'd kind of just, I remember we'd stay here at your house till the sun came up.
Yeah, dude,
at 6 in the morning, and we just kind of like be playing Gears of War or playing whatever, or
Or
watching
just-
aliens.
I was
or
gonna say,
something
or
like
just
that.
like looking up stupid videos on
Or that,
online.
yeah, and I mean, it was fun, and now we just like years have gone by, and we've kind of grown up or whatever. Adult, it's a term I should use very loosely, but
yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, it's true. This is what, maybe like the fourth time this year that I see you in person.
no, dude, this is the fourth. This is like the first time I see you this year
No, I saw you.
that I can remember. When did you see me this year?
Did I see you at Ivan's earlier this year?
Dude, I haven't seen Ivan or Barbie
Since
my
Turkey.
godchild.
Since the turkey we did there. It was like Thanksgiving or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, it's been
But
like
that
a
wasn't
year.
that wasn't even in 2018. That was in
No, 19. That was in 18.
no, because
Because it wasn't this last November. It was November before that. No,
No.
because they just barely moved into this new place.
in 2018 I was already in McAllen.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So
I take it back then. I guess
Yeah.
this is like the first time I see you this year.
and I remember I spent my Thanksgiving at home in Rio, and I mean it was it's been a while. I haven't seen anybody in a while. You're quite literally the first person I see. You know.
Yeah, that's like just like a regular friend kind of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, because it's the same thing here. I don't really hang out with anybody anymore because the whole quarantine. You gotta stay away from people. The last person, or the people that I used to hang out with the most, which was with Barbara and Ivan, I would hang out with them like every other weekend or so because we would true nerds D&D. Can't go any further than that.
I miss that so much.
Dude, it is. You need to play Curse of Strahd if you haven't played it. It is amazing.
I wanted to play in, what was it?
Ravenloft is amazing.
Ravenloft. Yeah.
Which is Curse of Strahd, pretty much.
That's right.
The fun stuff.
Skin kites and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we finished that, and then we finished Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is another really good one. It's kind of linear. We kind of broke it a little bit, but it was pretty fun. But like I was saying, I was hanging out with them like every other weekend.
I need to call you out, man. Your character was bull.
Which one?
Your character.
The one that I had with you guys, or the one?
The one that you had with us, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause
Artorias.
we worked.
Yeah.
For our level ups, you guys were just kind of given points because.
So to my understanding, right? Because I joined later, right?
No.
I went up 5 levels in a matter of like 2 months.
Which is totally not
And
fair.
from what I've heard, you guys went up 5 levels in a matter of 5 years.
Just about. Just
playing,
about.
Playing a lot
And
more than we were.
And we were playing consistently too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, ours was like once a weekend, and then
We were afraid of a badger at one point.
I
you know.
murdered. I like
Yeah, we had like a badger
Destroyed those
was
things.
a legit
a legit threat
you know,
to your
like,
character.
Hey, like watch out! It's pissed. You know.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It rolled a 7. You know, that's all it needed to hit us. You know,
And
like,
then you were just dead.
we were just dead.
Uh,
We were up, and then I roll for rabies or something.
I
stupid.
know the feeling, just because of Curse of Strahd. Because Curse of Strahd was a lot like that, to where the game is completely unfair if you don't know what you're doing. And so was this last campaign. It was one of those that the first area had a mini boss. There was a level 5 player character, so it wasn't like a level 5 NPC. No, it was like if this guy had actual fighter traits and he had the feats and everything. And I don't want to ruin it because I might actually make a story of this later on. But let's just say,
don't, I guess,
let's just say that he's
you-
very tough and he murdered one of us. And
You can bring on the DM Ivan.
yeah, so
and
he can,
yeah.
especially because like this story is very heavy on his character and our characters and just how messed up the whole game was. And he knew because he has to read ahead of time.
Yeah.
So he was just like throwing hints at us like, you guys are gonna die.
I remember
gonna die.
he used to hate it when we would, thwart his plot. And some way, somehow, we always... I remember one of the guys, rolled a 20 against
Probably Alex.
a worm or something like that, and he had a spear, and he charged it, and he was able to impale it and kill it. And Ivan was like, what? No, this was meant to, this... And it was just one of those... Or, he would bring in, storyline characters that we shouldn't be able to
interact with. Okay.
No. Not that we weren't supposed to interact with, but he would bring in
Like book characters,
yes,
no? That was his thing?
Not just that, but like characters that were just like characters that should just one shot us.
Okay, wait,
but
give me a quick sec. Hold that thought. So yeah, like you were saying, yeah, he brings up characters that would one shot you. Like they were built to destroy you in one hit, pretty much.
yes, and some way somehow we were able to
get away with it.
Roll a 20, and I remember I hacked off one of his character's legs, and he was like, what the, you know, and these were in a duo, and one of them got his leg amputated, and he's like, oh. So what the other character ended up doing on his turn, rather than attacking, he took his partner and casted some bullshit spell, and they were able to like teleport.
I know what you're talking about. I've heard that story before.
It was just stupid.
Yeah.
And, and we almost killed off his character. D&D was fun, and you guys should not have been able to get away with leveling
You
up.
need to play 5th edition. Because you've only played 2nd, right? Or 2.5?
Whatever it
Ivan?
was that Ivan had.
Yeah, okay, well, we were running 5th edition, and our characters were... Because again, Curse of Strahd takes place in... Like, it's like a pocket dimension, but it's pretty much Ravenloft.
Mm-hmm.
So everything there is going to murder you.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's like undead and all, and you know, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think, knowing this, that we would have had...
Dude, you should like... It sounds so...
It's weird. Who's spamming me? Just gonna leave that there.
Okay.
So yeah, so you would think that knowing that there's a lot of undead and this and that, you might want to go prepared. Guess how many magic users we had in the team? None.
Oh, wow.
Guess how many healers we had?
How many?
None. Any clerics? Nope. It was a fighter.
It was just all...
Yeah, it was all melee stuff. It was
a ranger.
It was a barbarian, a ranger, 2 monks, and I think another rogue.
It sounds like such a bad...
Yeah, no, it was a terrible team buildup, especially because none of our skills complemented each other. So my character had a real fun story. He was originally a dragonborn, and then throughout the campaign he got cursed, and because my character was stupid, and he went through this beautiful transformation where I died 4 times in a row, and every time he died, he got brought back as a different race. And so he went from a dragonborn to like a water elf to something else.
So there was like reincarnation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the very last character, and Ivan was like, if your character dies at this point, the curse ends, but it's game over for your character. Okay. And I was like, okay. So he made my character into a sprite that is like a foot tall. So it's like a little fairy, pretty much.
That sounds terrible.
But I kept all my stats. So it was a fairy with 22 strength. So just let that sink in for a while.
That's a pretty...
Yeah, I love that character.
It's a pretty buff sprite.
Yeah, D-Knock was the shit. I miss that character. I want to go back to Ravenloft just so that I can play that character again.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, those are... I miss those times, man. Playing D&D and stuff like that. That was super fun.
Yeah, man.
The late nights and stuff, you know, super cool, but...
I mean, you can't do it anymore.
It just kind of sucks, yeah, because we just kind of became an adult.
Yeah, I mean, because we had like the random traditions for a while where it was like we would go to Whataburger at 4 a.m. every other day, or we would go get Friels from Stripes because Friels are amazing at 4 a.m. It got to a point where we knew the cashier from Stripes.
Yeah,
and it's like, hey man, what's up? And he was already expecting us there at 4 a.m. because we were his only company. Poor dude, man.
You remember when we went fishing? At the convention center at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and
there was just like nobody there. It's like, are we even allowed to fish here?
And we used a piece of hot dog and a water bottle and some string that we bought from... Didn't we buy an ugly stick at Walmart?
We didn't use it.
We didn't. I know we didn't because I know
Doug got it, but we didn't use it. We just used a piece of string because we did use it. No. I think Duck was using the rod, and I was like, no, this is the way you fish. And I was like, here, just give me a bottle and give me some string. Yep. And I threw it, and it worked. Yep. Because that's the way that I got taught as a kid. Because I mean, when I would go fishing, we didn't have actual
and
rods
stuff,
or
yeah.
anything. It was like you just grab a Coke can, preferably the plastic ones with the little funnel to 'em.
Yeah.
And then that's where you tie it to that, and there's your rod. Have fun, kind of.
And it worked.
Yeah, no,
It
it
worked.
worked. It sometimes it even worked better than actual fishing rods because you could measure how far you were gonna throw it.
Catch and release. There.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, and those were those late nights, man. I mean, it's unfortunate that we can't have them, anymore. I know. I know.
But I mean, even this took a while to plan out because this is what, like our third try to record. Because we're originally gonna record on a Sunday.
and then I mean, I was at work, and then sometimes it's really hard for me to commute. Not that it's hard, it's just
It's a distance.
yeah,
too,
it's
dude.
a distance
It's not,
to drive and stuff. But
Yeah.
I know. Eventually, like, I mean, this is just the intro to episode 1, or to
The
more
serious
things
thing
to
kind of
come and
thing.
stuff like that, and as a matter of fact, maybe we should.
We should talk
Talk
about that.
about
Yeah, we should definitely talk about that. So let me go a little bit more into what we're planning to do, anyways. So for right now, it's gonna be the podcast. I'm not even sure if we're allowed to talk about the second thing. I think we can.
Sure.
Hopefully, Duck doesn't murder me. If anything, I'll just censor it out or something. So it's gonna be the podcast, and we also want to run an internet radio. So we do have our own website, and that's gonna be Into the Jarro. So Jarro is gonna be spelled JAR-O.com.
Is that?
It's a play on a lot of words because there's
Are you saying jarro?
jarro, yes. So it's jarro, but with only one R instead of two. But at the same time, it's a play on Metallica's cover of Whiskey in the Jar. So that's pretty much where the name came from. And I'm surprised you got the Jarro part because it took me a while to get it. Doug had to explain to me, and I was like, oh, it's a Metallica thing. He's like, no, it's jarro, but
Yeah, I kind of figured.
and I was like, oh, okay.
When I saw the artwork, I was like,
Yeah. I had to explain it to Ash. To awesome artwork, by the way.
are you gonna like show that or?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her. I mean, her artwork's gonna be our cover picture.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean like, hey.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna like
Okay.
put it on the screen or something. So yeah, we have the website,
So
which
you can get the reference.
yeah, so they can get it. See what el jarrito is. So in case anybody that's not from the valley sees it. So we have that. So we're also gonna be on Facebook and Instagram they'll have the same name, intothejarro.com. Oh no, not .com because they're not actual web pages. They're just Into the Jarro, and again, Jarro spelled JAR-O. So we have a lot of plans with it. This is kind of just like to get the ball rolling, and see how far we can push it and stuff like that. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time now, because I'm sure you remember I had brought it up to you guys like months back that I wanted to do a podcast, because I've always been into them because I'm a loser and if nothing else to do than to hear other people talk about their amazing life and whatnot. So I've been wanting to do it for a while, but I just never had the time for it.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, like I was like, yeah, I want to do this and this and that.
It
just never happened.
Again, it's with all this like quarantine stuff that like you get to have, I guess more projects come up, and like you have a little more time to do them. And like I was talking about earlier, practicing, music again. It's a terrible thing, what's going on right now, that people, hopefully, wear your masks and social distancing and all that stuff. But I mean, all the quarantine stuff, like when things were shutting down early,
Dude, yeah.
what am I gonna do? Like it's 8:00. I can't go to Walmart. And for some reason, it was like, why do I want to
go?
Yeah, like why do I want to go somewhere right now?
You can't.
Yeah,
because you can't, man.
Maybe.
That's what. It's a psychological thing. Because I'm the same way. Like, I'm used to not leaving my house, but then when the quarantine thing happened, it was like, oh, you can't leave anymore, and I was like, well, now I want to go out.
I want to go somewhere.
I want to go to the store. And
I want to go eat at a restaurant.
Yeah, which is something I would normally never really care for.
I didn't realize how much money I was spending until I started seeing.
Oh God!
Like, whoa! Like,
okay,
why do I have so much more money now? And like, what?
So I had done the math on my spending, right? Because I'm real cool though with my budgeting, right? and I would go to work. I would go out to eat at work. It used to be every day of the week, right? And then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it just like 3 days of the week or 2 days out of the week. And I did the math. Try to guess how much I saved on just food money from not buying at work.
$100.
I wish.
Oh wow. Okay, I give.
Dude, I was spending anywhere between $300 to $400 a month on just food, cause every time I would go out to eat was like at least like what $15-20, cause I would always get like stupid things added onto my meal.
Yeah.
So even if you cut it down to just like $10 a meal, $10 times 5, that's $50. You have 4 weeks. That's already $200 right there. That's not including what I would spend going out to eat with my girlfriend on the weekend and this and that. So it was a pretty penny that I started to save up on that.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was until I saw like things just changed. Like like, whoa,
this is what having money feels like.
Well, not just
Holy
that,
shit.
but like what is wow, I didn't realize it was that bad. So now since I had that, I guess I started shopping online more now.
Same.
And it's just kind of like, oh crap, do I really need this? Well, and then I try and justify it to
See, that's my thing, that I like I said, I'm real cool though, but I have a lot of impulse buys, which I regret it immediately after. But then once I get the product, it's like I don't care. I'm like, it's definitely worth it. So I had that when I bought all my equipment for this, right? So I bought my microphones, the mic stands, some stuff that I needed for the camera, and I was like, God, man, that was a lot of money. And then I was like, when I get everything, I'm like, worth it.
Yeah.
Just straight up, just worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna put up that video that we made earlier, but I mean, if you do, that'll be one of those impulse buys, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about in that video. And
the beautiful reveal video.
Yeah.
That I'm totally not jealous about.
The unboxing video that we made. I mean, if it goes up, that'll be a good example of one of those impulse buys, and it's just kind of like, did I really need this? Like, but
yeah, I mean,
it's there.
I'm all right, so we left off talking about your guitar and how that was.
Left off? You mean got cut off?
Cut. Yeah, I'm sorry, not fancy enough yet to have a camera that can record within 30 minutes.
It's alright, man. I mean, that wasn't even. Yeah, just whatever.
Okay, so we were talking about your guitar and how you had that as an impulse buy.
Yes, and we'll see if we put up that unboxing video. Can you send me that video? Because I'm thinking about. Shameless plug.
By all means, go ahead.
I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I know I was talking about earlier about practicing and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot more music. So like recording actually helped me like I guess practice more, because if I'm gonna be putting it on the internet,
yeah, people are gonna judge you, so you gotta make sure that it looks good.
So I guess this would be like a good
starting point.
Yeah, for a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that works for me.
An unboxing of that Solar guitar, but.
But I mean, back to the impulse buys. I mean,
yes. I digress. Shameless plug over.
Yeah, just don't do it again. Okay. I hope you learn your lesson. You're going to get one. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. Like, I do a lot of just bunch of impulse buys. And they're like impulse buys in the fact that I only think about it like maybe a couple of days, like a day or two, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get it. But then I'm like, I probably shouldn't have gotten it. The last thing that I did that with was actually with the equipment that I got, which was like the mics and the cables and some stuff that I needed for my camera. There was one of those like when I bought it, I was like, should I have done it or not? And then as soon as I got the equipment, I was like, totally worth it. By the way, shout out to Duck, because Duck's the reason why I have the microphones. Crack. He actually shipped them from the other side of Texas.
Yes, the dusty side of Texas.
Yeah, it's all kind of pretty dusty. Unless you go up north.
It's really nice, though. I've been up there before. It's been a long time. just kind of passing through to like other places. But yeah, shout out to Duck. Get back soon. You know, whenever you're done with your stuff.
Hopefully we can have him here soon. Do like a Skype meeting thing and have like his picture somewhere,
like somewhere
here floating, and it's gonna be like that awkward angle of your camera, like when you accidentally turn on your camera on your phone and you don't know that it's in selfie mode, and like you just see this. Yeah. So it'll probably be somewhere here in the middle, and they can have like a little duck over him or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure something out for him.
I feel like we should put like a little rubber duck here or something.
Dude, I am gonna buy a Funko of a little duck and just have it there as a stand-in for him for now. But it's random though. Now that we're talking about long distances and this and that, because we met by chance technically at a Whataburger. Because we hang around the same crowd. We've always hang around the same crowd. Because Euro's not very big and there's not a lot of metalheads. So there was a couple of times where we almost met. I'm not sure you remember this, because you had a show back in the day, dude. This is like a long time ago, that you'd performed at a talent show in high school. I think you had already graduated at that point. But my older sister was performing in that same talent show, and I think she was like a freshman or something. And I just so happened to be there, and I think I heard you guys play. But this is before I was into metal, so like you guys were playing the devil's music to me. I was like, I know que feo.
That was, I'm assuming you're talking about 2004, because that was the last time that I did anything with like a high school. Because my other band members at the time, they were a year younger than me, and that was in 2004.
Okay, so yeah, I think she graduated like maybe 2007 or
I graduated
somewhere there. Yeah, so there was that time. And then there was a separate time, which is when I guess you kind of popped up on my radar of people that I might, know or something. Because you guys did a show at STC that, to me, you guys were introduced as a Slayer cover band. But later on, I found out that wasn't necessarily true. You guys did, 2 songs from Slayer? But that was enough for you guys to be known as the Slayer cover band?
I mean, we did... That's what we performed live were 2 songs, which was, Mandatory Suicide and...
Which is a fun song to play.
Seasons in the Abyss. But, I mean, as far as, our repertoire of Slayer songs that we could play on the fly, yeah, we could, South of Heaven and Rain Blood.
Yeah, but that...
All the fun family ones. But, yeah, I mean... STC, that was a long time ago. I know I that was a really, really long time ago. I know I didn't know that was before I even that was. I know I ran into we were talking about Duck earlier, and I know he probably doesn't remember this. Maybe he does, but I know I bumped into Duck at Whataburger. We had just gotten out of a midnight premiere of some superhero movie, is back in 2000.
Probably one of the Batman movies. They were pretty popular back then.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, maybe some movie came out, and it was even a Marvel movie. And I went with a whole different, group of friends, and we went to Whataburger to go have, Whataburger. And, Alex was there, and I kind of met him through Alex. And I remember because he had the glasses and...
He'd stand out.
Yeah, he would stand out.
Which is funny because our group was the group that stand out, and he would stand out from us. Because he was the only normal dressed guy. For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, I guess. And I remember he was complaining because he had to leave because he had to take a test in the morning, and he was y'all's ride or something like that.
Yeah,
I gotta go because I have to take a test. And
he was the only one that not just knew how to drive, but had access to a vehicle at that point, because he had his truck back then.
Yeah.
Because I knew how to drive, but my mom was like, "I'm not gonna let you drive. You're 17. You're stupid. You're gonna crash." Thank God I never did. But yeah, 'cause I remember that we met there, and then I think we hung out shortly after. Like we just randomly hung out.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we had the same group of friends. You know, we just kind of like never, I guess, officially like, hey, how you doing?
Introduced, yeah, because we had a bunch of like little random encounters like that where we were in the same area. We just never got properly
Introduced.
introduced to each other, which is like random. But the funny thing is that you met Duck at Whataburger, and I don't remember being there. I don't think I was. But Whataburger became one of our ritual sites eventually, where we would hang out at Whataburger at 4 a.m. Like that was our go-to place.
Yeah.
To hang out. That or the Stripes, and we would get Frios from there. Also at 4 a.m, keeping the night shift clerk some company.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we yeah, like that was some good times. That's where we took that infamous, sombrero photo. And
Which I need to upload all of those pictures.
no, you don't.
Dude, is it when a cowboy walks into a bar?
Yeah, there was that one photo, that Photoshop that Duck made of.
I was wearing the hats.
Yeah.
I like that picture. It's a good.
It's
picture.
funny that we have those because I know we have the emo phase one. Where
Yes.
And then
The funny thing is I can actually do it because I knew I cut my hair. It's way too long. I just haven't gone because of the whole virus thing. I can do the emo hair now with the length of hair that I have, so I don't have to use a filter anymore. From Snapchat.
This was on Snapchat and we just kind of colored it in.
Yep, just colored it in and give myself a little bit of a eyeliner.
Yeah.
Make myself real pretty and whatnot.
That was, yeah, man. I mean, like, it was just by chance, and it's cool, man. Like, I mean, friends have rotated, in and out, and I still care about those friends that I haven't hung out with in a very long time. I still care about them very deeply. It just sucks that, we kind of grew up and went in different directions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I still hold them near and dear to my heart. And you guys have, hung out and still, we're still around. And now with this, maybe, we can bring them on here and then,
that's kind of what I wanted to do because, we do have a pretty big circle of friends, and that makes me sound popular, which that is totally not the case. It's just that the friends that we do have, they have like their little thing they're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have our D&D friends. We have a couple of buddies that are into like video stuff, so like into movies, movie reviews and stuff like that. And then we also have friends that just have had the craziest life experiences. When so it's kind of like it's fun to get that rotation.
Yeah, I know we had a conversation and we wanted to talk about some stuff that that I did before, and of course I'd like to do the same thing with you. Like what did you do before you were same thing with Duck. Where was he at in life? And
well, Duck was an egg, and then he hatched, and he came from there.
Kind of became.
I come from the corn, so they get the corn, the elote,
Sí,
el maíz. Then they grind it and they make it into a powder, and it's like corn flour, and then eventually you make a tortilla out of there. Sí, con agüita, se haces masa, and then you get your meats and whatever you want to, and that that's where I come from.
All right. Yeah, and I feel like this can kind of bring people back together, I guess, and we can talk about different things and experiences, and have just different conversations and viewpoints and whatever.
Yeah, because we have that as it is already, because we've had it where we're playing PS4 and we'll just stop playing the game and be in the main menu, just so that we can talk on the party chat. Yeah. And I think the last major conversation we had was the Star Wars. Aside from this, was the Star Wars one. How I'm very gray area on the last 3 episodes, which is 7, 8, 9, mm-hmm. And I believe you said you hated 7, 8, 9.
So I just needed to rewatch them. That was just the first.
Don't rewatch 8. 8 is fucking garbage. That's the one that I cannot protect.
Okay.
8 is just terrible. 9, I'll let it slide. I feel it feels rushed, but 7 is decent.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch them. I didn't give them the fair shake that they deserve just because I just kind of.
It was already over. There was really no need for it. It was
Yeah,
like a
no.
fan thing.
Not only that, like, yeah, I went because you guys were going, to be honest, and it was just kind of like, no, seriously, I went because I didn't go because I wanted to go and like see them. Honestly, I wasn't very interested. It was like, oh well, the guys are going, so let me go with them, and oops, um, so I really wasn't. I don't even. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the other day, I watched Solo, and that.
I did not watch that because I could when I saw the trailer,
So
I could feel the cancer radiating. That's why I didn't watch that.
So I didn't that I don't even know why I watched it. I think it's just because I downloaded. Don't judge me. I downloaded Disney on my PS4 and
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I hear it's very good.
it is. I was watching The Sandlot.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna judge you because I heard they actually have a pretty decent collection, like all the Marvel stuff's there.
Aside from that, they got some classic, Disney movies that I watched as a kid or whatever. Not that I'm going to go watch The Great Mouse Detective.
I never saw that movie as a kid.
Good movie.
Never saw it.
So, wow, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Solo popped up in there. I'm like, hey.
This looks like a terrible.
No,
good time to spend it was a terrible way to spend my good time.
Truly, it was really late at night, and I was practicing, music. I was playing guitar, and I just hit play to have like some background noise while I practiced, so it wasn't just quiet while I was, and not that it caught my attention, but I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, what? And then, from there, I watched it, and. I don't know who asked for a Solo movie, but
it was a huge fan service because I know they're doing the same thing for Obi-Wan. I keep on seeing it anyways on Facebook because everything that Facebook posts is true. Mm-hmm. Facebook never lies. Yeah. They had a thing where apparently Disney wants to do like a live action to Obi-Wan. I'm guessing kind of like what they did with the Mandalorian, which I also never saw, and I feel like I'm gonna get attacked for.
I don't think you should be. I mean, just because you're a little late to the party. But, I mean, it is a good show, and it is, it is worth watching, I guess, if you're a fan of the Star Wars franchise.
Well, the reason why I didn't watch it was because one of their most attractive points, I guess, one of the main things people would talk about was one of the biggest turnoff for me, which was the Baby Yoda.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not adorable. I don't understand the hype behind the Baby Yoda.
I don't either.
And
I just know it's a Baby Yoda, and if we can, as fans, get like some more insight from the particular species, and maybe find out where it's from, who its parents are, be
like Yoda's long lost son. He's actually like 100 years.
Well, here's the thing, man. I mean, you don't really know. Maybe it does. Maybe I just didn't catch it, or maybe I don't remember. But I don't know if it. Yeah, I probably don't remember. Maybe it did cover it. So, but I don't know if this came before or after the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they did cover it, or maybe I just didn't catch the reference or didn't catch the one line that says this is after or this is before.
Which is understandable because there's so much going on in those movies. Like even if you've seen the movies multiple times, you have a hard time telling them apart sometimes because they'll kind of just like mesh together.
Yeah, and I mean, Star Wars is one thing. I feel like Aliens is another thing, another topic and that's actually something that we need to finish watching. Yeah, because we left off on Alien 3, and I don't know why so many people don't like that movie. I think it's really good. David Finch, did a really good job with it. But and the whole storyline for that movie, I think I liked. I know a lot of people didn't like that they killed off, certain characters.
Don't spoil because I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah. Well, we need to finish that, and we need to watch Resurrection, which is the fourth part. And again, I won't give away anything there either.
Don't spoil movies that came out 10 years ago.
Those movies are way older than 10 years, bro.
Right. It's probably like, what, early 2000s?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Maybe even... Oh, no. Alien 3 came out in like 1990-something.
Oh.
I could probably open up my laptop.
I was probably like 5 then when it came out.
I'll look it up later. I don't want to... Yeah. But yeah, those movies are old. I know Resurrection might be in the late 90s, maybe even early 2000s. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, those are things that we need to finish watching, and that's just a little bit of the fandom nerd stuff that we might be able to talk about.
And I'll use that as a quick plug, just to try to get you guys involved with it. I don't think I've mentioned it before yet. So if you guys have anything that you guys wanted to talk about, be like, hey, compare this movie to this movie, because I'm a huge nerd, geek. They're not the same thing. A nerd and a geek are not the same thing. That needs to be a distinction.
Okay. But you proclaiming yourself to be one or the other kind of makes
me I'm a pretty big geek.
Poser.
Self-declared.
Sound like a
poser. I was a geek before it was cool. I got made fun of in school because of it. So that's those are my battle scars. But yeah, like that I've been wanting to do that, or I want to do that because I think that would be a pretty cool way to get you guys involved in what we do. And you would be surprised just how polar opposite of views we have over the things that we like.
Yeah,
which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I mean, it's kind of nice to have an opposing viewpoint because I get to, understand things maybe that I overlook.
Yeah, because
there's just some things that I hate, but you can like maybe justify something that's
it's like, he's terrible, but it makes sense. Kind of like that was me with Game of Thrones.
Okay.
There was a lot of stuff that I hated, like character wise, and then through other people, I was like, okay, I still hate him, but I see the point to the character now, and that makes him hate him a little bit less. Except for Joffrey. Joffrey was just a terrible character. Yeah. He got what he deserved.
There's a lot of things in Game of Thrones that were pretty cool, but I know a lot of people complained about certain seasons.
Mine was season 8. I was not happy with season 8.
Yeah, I need to go back and rewatch that. That was a long time ago. I only watched those seasons like one time through. I didn't go back and like rewatch a season. That's probably a good idea, man. Go back and do that. But
after we watch the Alien movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other
can of worms.
That's a whole other headache. Yeah. And we can totally dissect those, another time. So I don't know. Is there anything else that you think we need to like touch up on?
I think that's pretty much it. If I didn't mention it, like I said, follow us on Facebook at Tequila in the Jarro, and on Instagram, same name, Tequila in the Jarro, and don't forget to visit the website intothejarro.com. And whenever we decide to post on like a new video, or we do take comments from you guys like, hey, this is the ideas that we have, what do you guys rather hear us talk about, kind of thing, we'll probably do it through there and do like a Facebook poll or stuff like that, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So alright, so this was like a good place to stop then.
I feel like it is.
Alright, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode and got to know us, and we'll catch you around.